Issue Point and Gunnar in the house, back with another news episode. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some really awesome news for you guys. Best ones of the lot, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it involves transfer news, Mikel Arteta's press conference, and of course, a lot of other stuffs as well. So, without any further ado, I would want to jump into the main news here, but first, let me remind you guys, Denis Zakaria, Julian Draxler is much more closer to Arsenal than you can ever think in your life. Yes, it is happening, man. It is. And I'm super stoked about it. So tomorrow, do join me, 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Do join me in a conversation wherein I will speak to you, the Gooners. It's just going to be an hour. Yes, only 1 hour of discussion wherein we discuss only about football, predominantly Arsenal, and of course something else as well. Well, the decisions of Bellerin, Alexander Lacazette. I would want to hear your opinion. What do you guys really think? Who are the more? We got rid of Ozil, Socrates, Kolasinac, Mustafi. Apparently, Kolasinac. Who else is the deadwood that is actually still eating the whole wage bill as eating the whole club and as a termite? So we're going to talk about that. So stay tuned for that and do join in on the fun. So let's jump into the first news that we got here. So according to Konstantin Ekner, he actually tweeted out that his exclusive interview with Borussia Mönchengladbach's Denis Zakaria for the Times. Now he says that we spoke about how he started his career as a striker, his difficult knee injury last year, his admiration for Patrick Vieira, and much more. So he says, I see myself in Vieira, the octopus. So Denis Zakaria, he says that I see myself in Vieira. Oh my God! If he is the Vieira, he was, I think, last I think 2 seasons ago he was linked with Arsenal, but right now he's currently predominantly linked with Manchester City. I personally would love to have him. Him and Granit Xhaka would be superb. Like it's like the Swiss duo. But to be real with you, I think I'd rather stick with Yves Bissouma, Premier League proven, and he's just doing an awesome job. But moving on, so that is the news about Denis Zakaria. Let's talk about his Swiss compatriot. I'm sorry about that. Granit Xhaka. So Arsenal's Granit Xhaka tells online trolls to leave his family alone. He says, if you want to criticize me. So this is the report from James Benge to CBS Soccer. So Granit Xhaka would like to sit down with those that direct the greatest vitriol his way. It's a perfectly natural impulse, a desire to face those who have been targeting him. He says, why are you writing things like this? He's completely lost it. He says, I'm the guy on the pitch. It's not my wife, my little one, or my family. If you want to criticize me. I wish I could meet these people, sit with them and ask, why are you writing these things? He says, of course you can criticize and say what you want about football, but not about the person, not about the family. Well, we all know Xhaka's relationship with Arsenal supporters has been, not the best, if I have to say that. He says the problem is only if you lose. It's not a problem when you win. If you lose, everyone hates you. Everyone is writing you things where it's not possible to understand how they are writing stuff like this. The only thing I feel is that I have a lot of confidence in the coach. I am in a very good shape physically, but as well mentally. And he told to CBS Sports about the second leg of Benfica. He says, this is the key for my game. For me, everything has to be clear for what we have to do on the pitch. The coach is helping me a lot. Everyone knows he is one of the reasons why I'm still at this club. I have a very good relationship with him and he's helping me day by day on the pitch, outside the pitch. I'm very thankful for him because if you have one coach who gives you the confidence and freedom, it's easier for the player. He was a midfielder, so he knows the position exactly. This is very important for me because he showed me on the pitch where I have to have my body position without the ball, with the ball, where I have to stay, how I can improve my game as well, the game from the team. Everything is clear that I have to do on the pitch to help the team. So this is how Mikel Arteta is actually improving Granit Xhaka's gameplay. I'm pretty much sure Granit Xhaka, since the red card, I don't know, hardly has put a foot wrong. But let's stop all the negativity for a moment, at least for this video. So moving on. So if you remember this guy, he won the title with Montpellier, the League One title. So Christian Falk actually tweets out, he says, in the season 2011-2012, I've met Olivier Giroud in Montpellier and tried to convince him to join Bayern Munich. He was interested, but he also said, Since I was a boy, I was dreaming of the Premier League. Oh my God. So Olivier Giroud actually he he had Bayern in his hands, and he actually wanted to play Premier League, and boom, he landed up at Arsenal. How crazy is that? Moving on, so Mikel Arteta has told his Arsenal players that they should enjoy the pressure of needing to deliver a result against Benfica. Now, the current travel restrictions meant that neither sides could host their respective home legs, with Stadio Olimpico used for Benfica's venue and Arsenal's home moving to Athens on Thursday. So here's what Mikel had to say. He says, "This is why we are here. When you play in these competitions and these games, finals too, it's the pressure that you want. It's much better to have the pressure to win than the pressure not to lose. I really enjoy the pressure of winning and to be here and to represent this club. You have to be prepared to do it, to do that. If not, you don't belong here. I always feel that the pressure is on me. Every time you're playing in a competition and you can go out, you know the consequences, and with this club it is always to win the competition that you are in, so that doesn't really change much." Well, about the season, here's what Mikel had to say. He says, "It's a big season and a really important game mentally and confidence wise. It's going to dictate if we are in another competition or not for a few more weeks. This is really what we need. It's a really tough opponent. It's a Champions League team who have been playing in these types of games for many years with a manager with huge experience. For us tomorrow, it is a final." It looks like it, yep, and I'm pretty much sure, I hope they turn up like that. So moving on, so according to Duncan Castles, Bellerin and his agent have told Arsenal that he wants to leave this summer. The most likely suitors for Bellerin are Paris Saint-Germain. Arteta has told Edu to discuss the possibility of a swap deal with Julian Draxler. So it looks like Julian Draxler will be coming in a swap deal with Hector Bellerin. Would you guys accept that? I'm actually putting up a poll already, or by the fact that you would see this video, I think that it will be on as well. So let me know in the comments what you guys feel about it. Julian Draxler in a swap deal with Hector Bellerin. Is this the right thing to do? Let me know in the comments what you guys feel about it. Yeah. And also, well, Barcelona's, did you know, it's coming from the Athletic UK, the old Arsenal's, yes. So Barcelona's open training ground meant Arsenal had access to watch their young players, but a degree of espionage was still required. It was not unusual for their scouts to don baseball caps and sunglasses to try to keep a low profile. Yes, oh my God, Arsenal's approach was not exclusive to Barcelona or indeed Spain. Cagigao also worked on potential deals for Fernando Torres, Sergio Ramos, Dani Parejo and Santi Cazorla as teenagers, as well as other young players across Europe. Of course, that's the beauty of Francis Cagigao. That's what he brought to the club. But moving on, so Mikel Arteta has opened up about Partey. He says Thomas is very close. He's got a final test today in training. If he's feeling good, he will be available to play the match. And talking about Holding, Mikel Arteta says, regarding Rob, he's not available. He had a concussion. We tested him and he's completely fine. But obviously, we need to follow the protocols and he won't be available to travel. And talking about Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka had this to say. He says, it is a shame we have not played a lot together because he has had 2 big injuries. But the games we have played together, I think he looks very good, very solid. We are very good together, not only on the pitch but off it as well. He's a lovely guy. He's improving our team because you can see how much experience he has at this level. And this is good for my game as well. So talking about Jamie Redknapp's comments on Aubameyang, this is what Arteta had to say. He says, I'm here to support every single player, and that is what I try to do all the time. I try to give them the best possible advice, and when they have a difficult moment, stay right behind them, and that's what we try to do always. I think the best way to talk is always on the pitch. 7 days before, when he scored the hat-trick and he could have scored 4 or 5 against Leeds, he was again the main man. He could have scored a hat-trick against Benfica with his qualities, and it would have been different. Agreed. And talking about Saka's consistency, Arteta was asked, is it unusual of the player his age? He says, it's very unusual, but he's doing a lot of unusual things. He's dealing with things in a very unusual way, but that's why he's showing what he's showing, because his maturity is above his age and so is his intelligence. His form in recent months shows that he's a very important player for us. I think he's getting better and better. His performance levels has been really consistent, so that makes him, for sure, one of the most important players in recent months. And talking about the fans returning to the stadium, Arteta says, I cannot wait to have our fans back in the stadium. I think all the players and everyone at the club are desperate to have our fans back at the Emirates because they make a huge difference. So with this, we end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you seek daily Arsenal content, best place to be, guys. And you know what? Get involved. I'm going to put in a lot of different type of content wherein you guys can be a part of my show. Yes, we can have you on the show. So all you got to do is the description of box includes links of my Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on those platforms or one of those platforms. I don't even care about it. Follow me on those platforms and send me a DM that you want to be a part in it, and I will definitely make sure to squeeze you in one of my shows. So cheers. I will see you in the next one.